The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The national government has mandated LGUs to designate holding areas for quarantine violators. In a 5-page memo, the Interior and Justice Department said that the areas shall accommodate as many persons as possible without overcrowding. The agencies reiterated that violators of health protocols will face penalties as set by local government units. Back in April, President Duterte ordered the arrest of violators of the face mask policy and other COVID-19 measures. And the IATF has finally allowed leisure travel in and out of the NCR Plus bubble despite the extension of the restricted GCQ status. To give us his insights, we have Professor Gov't of the Octa Research Group now joining us over the phone. Good afternoon, sir. First off, is this a good idea considering the rise of cases in some provinces outside of the NCR Plus bubble?
Hi, good afternoon. This is, of course, concerning because even in the NCR, the cases are actually starting to increase slightly. The increase is not significant, but we have to, we're monitoring the trend closely because we don't know yet what's going to happen, if it's going to increase or if it's just a fluctuation and it will start decreasing again. But it's definitely a slight concern at the least. And it's not just in the NCR, but we're also seeing increases in parts of Calabarzon and Bulacan and also Pampanga. And then we're also seeing increase in cases in the provinces in Davao City, in Cagayan de Oro, in Cagayan and Isabela. So, allowing leisure travel, I mean, we understand where they're coming from, but I haven't read the guidelines. At least they should have some measure to help prevent the transmission of virus to the provinces.
All right, one such measure that the Tourism Department has put in place is that they said that travel will only be allowed from point to point. However, point to point means you will be allowed to make stopovers for food or to relieve yourself to use the restroom. How effective could this be in mitigating the spillover of cases from within the NCR Plus bubble?
Well, if they require tests like PCR tests or antigen tests, that should help. But of course, this is leisure travel, so quarantine would be out of the question most likely because it doesn't make sense, you know, if you want to have a vacation somewhere and then you have to undergo a 14-day or even at the minimum 7-day quarantine in each direction, and that would take a lot of time. So, you know, we haven't really thought about that. What the point-to-point travel would, you know, what kind of risk it would bring with it. We'll have to look at it, but definitely, we understand that they've looked at this and they've studied the, you know, possible effects of these, the risks, and we hope that, you know, it will work out, but we'll see.
All right, so doing a quick check on hotspots and whatnot, based on the Octa Group's data, which areas are still areas of concern and how serious is the COVID-19 situation in these provinces?
Yeah, Davao City is definitely an area of concern. It's right now the #1 LGU in terms of cases. It's #2 after Quezon City. Cagayan de Oro is still an area of concern, and same thing in the north, in the provinces of Cagayan and Isabela, specifically in Tuguegarao, Cagayan, and then also we have Cagayan de Oro and General Santos in the south, also Butuan. So there are several emerging areas of concern, and that also includes Iloilo, where the hospital utilization is getting to be very high. So some areas of concern have high hospital utilization. Some areas of concern, like Davao City, they still have a very manageable hospital utilization, but the rate of increase is significant. We're concerned that the virus that's spreading in these areas of concern right now would most likely be one of the variants because our understanding is that the variants have already outcompeted most of the original virus. So that is definitely concerning. And the rapid increases that we're seeing in many of these areas of concern would seem to indicate that it's driven by the variants.
Driven by variants. All right, this leads me to this next question. We do have new quarantine classifications in place, like we said, and alongside that, Guido, we also have new COVID variants in play. Can we or should we expect another surge in cases? What are you guys looking at and what are you guys expecting?
Well, what we know so far is that the Indian variant was not able to spread yet in the country, and that's good. But we still have, predominantly the UK and South African variants in community transmission. So, the government, I believe, was very cautious in retaining the GCQ with heightened restrictions. So even though we recommended easing from restrictions.
All right, one last question. Our numbers have gone up a little bit this week and late last week. Guido, should we be alarmed? How are the numbers looking to you guys at the moment within the NCR Plus bubble?
Well, it's slightly concerning, but we will still have to wait and see. If it continues to go up by next week, it'll definitely be alarming, and we'll let you know. But right now, it's too early to tell if it's going to be a concern with these numbers.
All right, looking forward to you letting us know next week. Thank you so much, as usual, for all the insights, and we appreciate the time. Professor Guido David of the Octa Research Group. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Health Department logged 5,100 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. Of the 1.2 million total caseload, around 53,000 are still considered active. Meanwhile, the death toll has surpassed 21,000 after 46 more fatalities were confirmed overnight. On the other hand, we have total recoveries now at 1,160,000, with 6,200 new survivors reported over the last 24 hours. And prices of processed meat are expected to increase in the coming days because of the Agriculture Department's poultry ban on countries with cases of avian flu. Shaila Francisco with a full report.
JR is a regular customer at this hot dog stall in Mandaluyong City. She says she gets to save up on lunch money because of the cheap food. That's why JR was disappointed upon learning that prices of processed meat like hot dogs may soon rise. For one, processed meat products in several stalls in JP Rizal Marikina have increased by 10 to 50 pesos since last month. Starting tomorrow, some brands of hot dogs will increase prices by 2 pesos per kilo. But retailers fear prices of hot dogs and other processed meat products may still go up in the coming months.
Konti na lang yung binibili ng mga suki namin, unlike before na maramihan.
The Meat Importers and Traders Association, or MITA, explains that some processors are scrambling to look for affordable mechanically deboned meat, or MDM. This is due to the Agriculture Department's poultry ban on countries with avian flu cases. Prices are lower in countries that are considered as major sources of MDM. But the problem is they are affected by the Philippines poultry ban. Other source countries took this to their advantage and hiked MDM prices by more than $1 per kilo.
Nawalan sila ng sources. Naghahanap sila whatever is available kasi kulang na kulang sila. Kapag maraming it's a lot of demand, there's more demand and less supply. So tataas talaga ang presyo.
With this, MITA is asking for a regional ban instead, where those areas not affected by the avian flu in the banned country can still export to the Philippines.
Now, what is important is for the Department of Agriculture not to be too strict, not to be overly strict, and to reopen countries to allow them to supply MDM as soon as possible. They should now try to open up, apply the regional ban, and then reopen as soon as possible.
The Agriculture Department is ready to lift the poultry ban as long as the country is proven clear of avian flu. So far, the agency has implemented a regional ban on Australia, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
44-year-old Chinese climber Tang Hong has become the first blind Asian and only the third blind mountaineer to reach the top of Mount Everest. But he's not stopping there. Let's watch this.
接下来会继续锻炼身体，会尝试去做7+2，再次感谢曾经给我力量、给我能量的艾瑞克。
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.